Did you have a stunt double?
I don't think Tom hires stunt doubles. I think he's like, it's kind of a written, unwritten rule that you just go ahead and do it yourself. But I don't think any of us would want a stunt double. When you see somebody like Tom doing his own stunts, you also say like, hey, I can do that as well. So no, there was no stunt double. Everybody did their own stunts. Hey, my name is Greg Tarzan Davis, and I'm here to talk about stunts. Whoop! Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning with Greg Tarzan Davis. The first day, we all get to Norway from London, right? I've walked to work before when I was younger, working at Smoothie King. I've even ridden a bike to work on handlebars. I had never taken a helicopter to work before. So this, hey, you wanna come, check out the bridge? We were like, all right, yeah. So we're walking along the bridge and it's so nice. It's like, wow. All of a sudden you hear a helicopter and you look up and Tom is flying by. And all of a sudden, he lets go, and you're like, oh my gosh, Tom! He does this warm up maybe like 3 times. And then they say, okay, Tom is about to actually do the cliff jump, right? We're sitting there at the edge, and they're like, all right, Tom is about to go. He's sitting on a motorcycle, he's revving up. He's going. And then all of a sudden he goes, and you see the motorcycle fall, and then you see him coming down, and we're all just sitting there like, Did he make it? We working tomorrow? Will I be able to pay my bills? I don't know. And I get workers' comp even though I didn't get hurt? So that was a heart to your butt moment. Scene, top of the train, where it is myself, Degas, Shea Wiggums, Briggs, Tom, and Isai Morales. We started filming Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning during a global pandemic. Tom was championing it, getting people back to work, and if it wasn't for him, man, I don't know when we would have started filming again, so that was really incredible of him. And then we had the actor strike, so that was another thing. We weren't on set, but we had to individually work out, so we will be on FaceTime, me and Palm, like, hey, what's your workout for the day? When I was breaking my character down, I was trying to figure out who he was as an individual, what his life was, and as I broke him down, he was good in martial arts. I have a background myself as a 2nd degree black belt, and I said, I'm gonna add that to the guy. He's more of that, a militant type, but he also has good combat, like close combat skills, like boxing and whatnot. So that's something that I dove into heavy. Tom is all about being competent. And the only way to be competent is to be able to understand all the logistics that goes into it, all of these stunts. That's why he's so calm when it comes down to these things. That's why he doesn't stress. That's why he smiles, because he has worked out every single intricate detail to make sure that safety comes first. My first day working on set was being on top of the train. They say, hey, can you climb up there? And I'm like, of where? You mean in a car? No, they mean on top of the roof. So I go on top of the roof and they strap you up in these harnesses. And while we're on the train, this was a scary bit. So I'm on the train and I'm like, I have to fall down on the train, and when I fall down, my shoe comes off. And I'm like, whoa, that could have been me. That could have been me. That was scary. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. In the scene, we have several characters. We have myself, who plays Degas. You have Palm, who plays Paris. You have Simon, who plays Benji, and Rolf Saxon, who plays Donlo. And we're fighting against some Russian agents in a cabin in Svalbard. So when you're working on action films, it's important for you to be in shape. Because we filmed these 2 films back to back, we had to stay in that type of shape. So we were on a strict diet. Working out was 6 times a week. Sometimes we were 2 times a day, 2-a-days. In this one, we were able to go work out with Tom in the pain cave. So that was cool. The experience what that was. I know that's a famous thing, the pain cave that he takes around with him. So it was always there. It's just specifically in the last film, it was like, hey, the pain cave is there. Let's use it. He has these things. He has this one treadmill. It's like I'm using the wrong word, like a hyperbolic thing. So it's not, doing anything to his joints and stuff like that. He has some wheels on him, man. He has some serious wheels. There's this art of running. And I was like, Tom, I don't want to look stupid compared to you when I'm running, because I run a certain type of way in real life. And I was like, you got to give me some tips on how to actually run. And his tip was pump your arms and high knees. So now I'm doing a Tom Cruise run while I'm running down the street. People are probably like, is that Tom Cruise? No, that's Tarzan. I was so excited to get my first on-camera fight scene out there. What I didn't realize was how challenging it was to actually do fight choreography, because you're throwing punches, but you're not supposed to hit the person, and then a person's throwing punches at you, and you have to act like you're being hit, you're getting thrown around, slammed, you're just going. It's take after take after take. What they wanted to do was really cater the fight scenes to our specific character's ability. Mine is all like close combat type things, and he's very tactile. So he's really good in close spaces, which you'll see in the film.
Did you have a stunt double?
I don't think Tom hires stunt doubles. I think he's like, you know, it's kind of a written, unwritten rule that you just go ahead and do it yourself. But I don't think any of us would want a stunt double. When you see somebody like Tom doing his own stunts, you also say like, hey, I can do that as well. So no, there was no stunt double. Everybody did their own stunts. Here we go. Top Gun Maverick. Let's talk about it. So the scene is where Coyote goes up to try and do the training mission that's going to happen at the end of the film, but he's doing it probably in the midpoint of the scene, and he's going up, pulls a lot of G's, and he passes out. So Tom Cruise is, as we all know, a person who loves to do his own stunts, and he kind of encourages everybody else to do their stunts as well, i.e. me, i.e. what the To my surprise, I wasn't a part of the core group that was going to fly, so I was kind of upset. But along film, and I guess I left an impression, and they said, hey buddy, you're gonna start flying now. In order to get into F-18, we had to go through this water training, survival training, just in case you went down in F-18 and the helicopter had to come and get you, and the helicopter so happens to go down. They have all of these redundancies just in case something happens. Thank God nothing did. In a helo dunker, you're strapped in, and the helo dunker drops down in a tank of water, and you have to take a breath the last minute before you go under. And it spins upside down, and before you can unlatch yourself and get out of a window, you have to wait, the water has to settle down, and then you have to go through. For some reason, Lewis was moving slow. I don't like drowning, so I was moving fast. I was trying to get out. Lewis, he thinks he's a mermaid and he breathes underwater. That's not how water works for human beings, okay? I don't understand why he was chilling by the window so much. So once we got there, we were also learning how to fly a plane. I ended up getting about 20 hours in the Cessna before I actually moved up to the Extra 300, which was an aerobatical plane, so I can learn how to pull G's, so I can get comfortable with what that felt like. One of Tom's advice was don't eat too much. I took that advice to heart. I was one of the pilots who never threw up. I can't speak for Lewis, can't speak for Jay, Glenn, but I know I didn't throw up. I was taking some Dramamine pills in order to hold that down. I'll tell my secret. After doing the Extra 300 for so many flights, we moved on to the L-39, which is similar to the F-18. It's not quite there. And then we move into the F-18. Being an F-18 is like a roller coaster in the sky. You don't necessarily feel it when you're flying straight ahead, because you know when you're in a car, you don't know if you're going fast or not. But when you start dogfighting, that's when you feel it. One thing that they tell us about was hypoxia. We had to go through this machine where they just give us an example of what that felt like. So they let us fly it while the mask is on, and you just get delirious and you don't even understand what's going on. And I'm flying the jet and I'm running into everything, but in my mind, I'm flying perfectly. I'm like in cruise control, like this is nothing. But they had a video of us all, you know, how silly we look. So that was a big thing to be cautious of when you're up in the air. So we had to go through these long briefing meetings before and after each flight. And Tom was like, hey, I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. I think like the first 2 days, we just sat there and we watched. So we would go in and brief and understand how we're gonna shoot, because as the actors, we were the only ones in the cockpit besides our pilot who was flying in front of us. We had 6 cameras operating. So we had to, you know, turn the cameras on, we had to turn it off, we had to make sure the lighting was right. So we're communicating with the pilots to say, which is crazy. You have a bunch of actors saying, yo, pilot, please turn this $30 million thing this way because I need the light in this way so they can get my good side. You know what I mean? The first scene that I shot was the scene where I'm passing out. And I want to say we did it, I kid you not, probably like 12 to 15 times. I can't remember the exact number, but that is the most exhausting thing ever because you're constantly pulling G's, and we hit like 7.8 to 8 G's, and you can't really do that because you can bend the wings back, but it was intense. Shout out to me. I didn't pass out, but my scene was so good, I had everybody thinking I passed out. And that's Stunt School with Greg Tarzan Davis. Thanks for watching. Whoop.